All right, we are looking at lesson 1.10, comparing real numbers. We are on page 91, so if you need to pause your video and get to that page, go ahead and do so now. Okay, so we're going to compare real numbers, and the only way to do that is to turn them into decimals. They need to be the same kind of number before we can compare them. So let's take a look at the square root of 7 and 2 2/3. Okay, so these are two different numbers. This is a square root, this is a mixed number. We need to change these both into decimals. So grab your calculator. So if you find the square root of 7 on your calculator, it's about equal to 2.64575, and you can round that off, somewhere in here. And then if you divide, if you change this into an improper fraction or divide, or you just divide 2/3, you will get 2.6666, and then that keeps going. So now just compare. So right here you can see that 6 is bigger than 4, so 2 2/3 is slightly bigger. So we would write it as negative, or the square root of 7 is less than 2 2/3, or you could say 2 2/3 is greater. Okay, let's try another problem. Let's try 15.7%, or the square root of 0.02. Okay, so again, these are two different kinds of numbers. This is a percent, and this is a square root. So we need to change these both into decimals. So the way you change a percent into a decimal is you move the decimal 2 to the left every time. Right now it's a percent, so you can't just take 15.7. To change it to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 to the left. So this is really 0.157 as a decimal. So now grab your calculator and find the square root of 0.02, and that is about equal to 0.141. So now compare, just line up the place value and compare. 0.157 is bigger than 0.141, so we would write it as 15.7% is greater than the square root of 0.02. Or you could say 15.7% is greater. Okay, you can also put different kinds of numbers in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So let's say that we are going to order the set and a set of numbers. It looks like this. So let's try the square root of 30, 6, 5 4/5, and 5.36 repeating as our set of numbers. Okay, so we're going to put these four numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay, so again, the very first thing you're going to do is turn these numbers into decimals. So grab your calculator. So the square root of 30 is about equal to 5.48. Okay, and this means about equal to. We've rounded it off. Okay, the number 6 is exactly 6. And if we wrote that as a decimal and expanded decimal, we would have 0.00. And 5 4/5 equals 5 point something. So you can take your calculator and divide 4 by 5, or you can turn this into an improper fraction and divide. Otherwise, you will get 5.8. And again, there's nothing here, so we can just make a 0 because we can line up the place value. And then 5.36 with the 6 repeating looks like this, 5.3666. So let's just round this off to the hundredths place. So if you look at that next number, it bumps this up to 7. So it's about equal to 5.37. Okay, so now let's compare. We're going to sort them from least to greatest. So which one is the smallest? It looks like this one. So you're not going to write these numbers. This was just for you to do the work to see which one of these was the smallest. So you're going to put these numbers in order over here. So your first number should be 5.36 with the bar. Okay, so then the next smallest would be the square root of 30. So then you're going to put square root of 30 next. And then the next smallest would be 5 4/5, which leaves 6 as your biggest number. So this is the correct order from least to greatest. Okay, we will practice more tomorrow.